episode of Chatty Broads with Becca and Jess.
Should I leave a message or no? Probably not.
Yeah, don't. And see if he'll call back. Let's see if he calls back.
Elizabeth, we tried to call your father.
Welcome to Chatty Bros, everyone.
What's up, everybody? That was the beginning. Someone had sent a note in saying that we should call their father about advice, but we decided to take it a step further and actually try to prank call him.
Someone came into the gym,
right,
and left me an incredibly kind note saying how much they enjoyed the amenities of the gym and their time there, and that they're a big fan of the broads and the bros, which we love. I love that we get this kind of stuff.
I know.
And then, she left us her dad's cell phone number and said that we should call him for life advice. So Evan and I decided to try and prank call him instead.
Which is something we're going to start doing. If you guys send in maybe your parents' numbers or someone that would be funny to prank call, we'll start prank calling people. Obviously, after the prank call, we'll get, they're okay to use it. We won't do any sort of weird illegal stuff like that. But if you have like some funny parents or someone who would, especially someone who would answer a phone call from a random number too.
Yeah, definitely. They need to do that. And
so the older, the better, I guess. Because young people are like, I'm not taking, like, what is this shit? But we were hoping this guy would just answer. But we had a whole bit ready for him. We were going to turn his power off.
We were really excited about it for you guys, but it didn't turn out. And then we were going to
segue. I was nervous. I was really vibing. I was thinking about my script. I was like, okay, and then I'm going to say this, and if he says this, I got this. And we had hold music ready.
Yeah, we were about to be like, oh, let me transfer you to another department over here.
And it's going to go like this.
Then I take over and I went, yeah, sir, what seems to be the problem?
So we got a whole bit. So if you got some people, we will try. Maybe we'll try a couple numbers if a couple don't work. So send in some funny numbers, maybe some parents, some grandparents, gullible people.
Who won't want their power turned off.
Who would be insanely pissed about it. How's it going, man?
It's going pretty good.
We had a hell of a live show this last week.
We did. If you guys missed it, I think they can't. I think that window's closed. Yeah, it's gone. Well, you missed it.
Guys,
if you missed it, you missed it. You snooze, you lose.
You snooze, you lose, man.
It was really fun, though.
Yeah, it was a blast.
A lot of exclusive content that was made for that show.
A lot of exclusive content, great videos. We went like 2.5 hours. It was awesome. We were getting tons of people calling in afterwards or texting in or like DMing or whatever, saying that they loved it.
Good news is we want to do more.
Yes.
So we had a blast doing it, and honestly, creating the content for it. We made a fake reality TV show.
So funny.
That was a really fun experience for all of us to do together, and we were all inspired by it. So we were going to do more of this. So you guys, if you did miss it, just know, don't miss the next one.
Right.
And
because the beautiful thing, and also, the beautiful thing about these is that they're live and they're up for like a day or two. This isn't stuff. We're not just like another YouTube video. Like, this is exclusive content. So it's like, it's there and then it's gone. It's like a merch drop that has 20 shirts. It's like, you got to get one of those shirts.
I pranked Becca.
Oh yeah, you threw a snake at her.
I'm really into these pranks right now.
You're a big prank guy right now.
I'm
You're going back to like 2005.
I don't know what the planets are doing, but I'm back in the
Mercury is in prank mode.
Yeah. My college roommate and I used to be really into pranking people. He's like the king of pranks. He'll just he still does it.
The best is just when you act super serious about something that's very serious, but it's totally a joke, and then people are like, oh, "Okay, I'll be there in a second." And they're just like, when you got to shake people up, you got to shock people with like what's going on. So yeah, epic live show. We had a blast, man. It was super fun.
We've had a lot going on.
Yeah. It was sick. And then we got the beginning of Paradise, baby.
Oh my God. I honestly completely forgot. I was like, what are we talking about today?
Yeah. Just for a second. We're like,
there's... Paradise, dude.
Paradise, dude. Okay, let's get into this. How did you feel just in general about like the initial kind of, what's your initial thoughts on the whole thing?
Honestly, whenever a new Bachelor season starts, I'm like, Jesus, here we go again.
Right.
And then the moment it starts, I'm like, oh, hell yeah, here we go again.
Right. It's like, kind of feel like it's like a big hill, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I like hiking.
Yeah. Completely. Like, oh, the view's great. And
what I like about Paradise is that it's like a departure from the like seriousness. You know, it's like nice to have that break of like Bachelor gets so serious, Bachelorette gets so serious sometimes where it's like we're discussing like super serious shit. Where it's like Paradise is just like, let's rip it open, baby.
It's hilarious. But then also you know that the drama is just coming down the pipe.
Oh, because people are just on edge. They're fresh off the show. So they're either freshly heartbroken or they feel slighted or they feel like I got a bad edit or whatever it is.
Or there are so many guys from the previous season who are just like all about petty drama.
Yeah.
And blowing things wildly out of proportion.
I also like Paradise because it's kind of like you get people's real takes on who they think is hot and what they're into. Because even if everyone shows up for like one Bachelor or Bachelorette, there is this sense of like probably 3/4 are into them, but then there might be a quarter that like isn't and they're trying to be, and maybe they get there, but like then they get eliminated because but it's like when you're in a place with equal amount of your opposite sex, there's options. And so because of the options, you're really going after what you like. So I feel like it can get even more intense because there's this like, I genuinely would have picked this person out of a crowd. I like them. And now this other person likes them. And now it's really messing me up. Well,
that's exactly how this whole thing started.
Right.
That's literally how it starts, all over Serena P, who is the hottest commodity on the beach right now.
Dude, absolute, the Willy Wonka's golden ticket right now.
Yeah. I mean, I was talking to Becca over this of like, why? And there's a lot of reasons we could just crack into it.
Well, let's get into it. But first I want to talk about one little thing. Let's go through a couple things. Number one is the narrator's voice was like, and another, and I was like, oh, I get it. You're trying to do Love Island. And the contestants are on their way. And I was like, I mean, that's a Love Island thing. Like, really, guys?
I'm just like, there's a lot of stuff going on like outside of the participants that I'm like, okay, Dave.
Let's talk about David Spade.
David Spade.
What are your thoughts?
Look, I'm a big fan of early David Spade.
Yeah. You're a fan of his work.
Like Black Sheep, sure.
Right.
But
Tommy Boy?
Yeah, fucking
legend.
Joe Dirt.
Legend.
Absolutely.
Stand up? I've seen a stand up live 10 times.
Really?
Fucking amazing.
But him like doing this stuff, I'm like,
especially because he's kind of like, he likes going out there and saying hi to the ladies on Instagram and stuff like that, right?
He does, yeah. And so like he even
like,
made some like racy innuendo jokes.
Did you notice that he was kind of like eyeballing a couple of them too? He was just kind of had that look of like, what's up? Like just in case the show doesn't work out, I'm rich and famous.
Yeah.
He had that vibe a little bit.
They definitely did. And who was it? Who called him out where they were like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Oh, yeah. God, I don't remember who it was, but yeah, there was someone that kind of made the comment of
that
like,
was so
what the
funny.
hell?
Yeah, just like...
Was it Grocery Store Joe?
No, he was too nervous.
But he's like, what's up?
Kenny was literally like, what the hell are you doing here?
That's kind of what it was. He's like, what's up?
It was so funny.
It was so random.
He's like, I can't believe Kenny's 40.
That's crazy. I mean, the dude looks insane.
Yeah.
He looks incredible.
Can you get Botox like in your stomach?
I don't know, but you can take steroids, and steroids makes you shred out like that.
That's
like testosterone replacement and stuff. Like that stuff makes guys like 0% body fat.
Do you think he's on testosterone?
Oh, at 40? Yeah.
Do you think so?
No one looks like that naturally at 40. It's like literally impossible. Like I watch a lot of like boxing and UFC. Floyd Mayweather's maybe the only guy at 40 that looks like that. And he's like 5'5".
He is unbelievably shredded for 40.
And well, first of all, Floyd Mayweather looks like that at 40, but he's not like he's got abs but he's like a skinny little guy, as opposed to Kenny's like a big guy who like is buff and shredded. The buff and shredded thing, that's...
Well, the other thing, there's a whole lifestyle that goes along with that like You got to really be like, as a partner to
life.
someone who's doing that. Yeah, like
24/7.
you're not gonna have any fun going out to restaurants with this person.
You're not eating dessert.
No, they're eating like boiled chicken with nothing on it,
You're,
and you're certainly not getting any dessert.
and every time you eat, it's like, oh well, this is gonna mess up my calorie deficit.
Completely.
And you're just like,
Or they're trying to meet their calorie like intake.
Right, whatever the thing is.
Whatever, exactly. And so it's like, it's kind of, I don't know, whatever. To each their own. It's a lot of hard work and dedication to get to like.
But I always
looking
think of
that,
like
but
to get what?
shredded
Just
abs.
shredded, like I don't know. It just seems a little bit like, unless you're a model, which I guess he was, or maybe still is. I'm a little bit like, why so much work
I don't
into
know.
this?
One thing I will say is I felt bad saying, he has those star tattoos, and I was saying that only a douchebag gets those, but he's not actually a douchebag.
He actually seems like a really nice guy.
He seems like a nice guy. He seems like he's a lot of fun.
Which is weird though, because his antics, like the whole naked thing, and
Producer bit, I have to say, I don't think
'cause
he's actually
he seems
naked.
like a nice guy. No, but even if he's not, the whole bit of like naked, the whole thing, it's funny. His demeanor and personality doesn't match the bit he's always doing.
Do you think he's in a
Which is the
Speedo?
tattoos and the like nudity and shit. I'm always like, but then he walks up and he's like, hey guys, nice to see you. It's like, it feels like a Carl bit.
A little bit.
Like it's over the top and ridiculous.
Or, yeah, it's just sort of like he's a grown-up class clown who like still will always default to that.
But if that was the case, he was kind of embarrassed by it. He was kind of like, hey guys, sorry. Like,
Well, I think because you like make this out, like you make a commitment and then you're like, oh yeah, that would be funny. And
right.
then they're like, yeah,
and then you're
wear
walking
this-
up and you're like, oh, this is weird.
wear a man thong up to the thing, and you're like, oh yeah, like I mean, like it'd be a lot. It'd really show like you're confident if you're able to do that. And then when you actually do it, you're like, why the fuck am I wearing a fucking man thong right now?
I agree
Everyone else is
completely.
in pants.
And I don't think he was naked.
No, he was certainly not naked.
'Cause
That'd be a
if-
sexual
if-
harassment charge.
Well,
big
and if
time.
he was actually naked, people would be like, oh my God. Like, right. There was like a good handful of people that just like gave him a hug and were like, it's good to see you.
Yeah, I think Speedo or
Like probably a thong.
Brazilian man
some sort of
thong,
really
like
high
something.
thing. But even still, it's like nudity would have been so much more intense. People would have been like, whoa. Like,
Well, me and Becca were saying if he's actually nude, it'd be like harassment in the workplace.
right. You can't just be walking around naked.
No.
But I don't know, maybe, when you're on a beach and you sign a bunch of contracts, all bets are off. But because he kept going, like it was all day he was in that thing, all night, even at the bar when they're all hanging out. Still
Yeah, I
in
was
it.
confused. He was dedicated.
I was like, dude, everyone's in like chilling.
Super dedicated to it.
Okay, broads, interrupting the bros to bring you this important announcement. No one likes spending more money than they need to, obviously, but finding discounts and deals is honestly also a full-time job. Like, I know if I look hard enough, I could save a few bucks when I'm shopping online. There are always promo codes out there somewhere, but I never know where to start. But now that I use Honey when I shop online, I always know I'm getting the best price no matter what.
Honey's the best. I actually saved $10 on a new pair of running shoes just last week. And it works like this. Let me tell you how. You install Honey on your computer. It only takes about a minute. Oh, and by the way, it's free.
It's free.
Guys, I know there's so many Honey ads out there, but like if you haven't installed it,
What are you
then
doing?
what are you doing?
What are you
'Cause
doing?
It's free
You're
and
just
it saves you
wasting
money.
money.
Come
Yeah.
on, guys. So next time you're shopping online, which let's be honest, will probably be sooner rather than later. You'll probably do it today or tomorrow. Honey's going to be right there with you, making sure you're getting the best deals. And when you get to the checkout page, the Honey button will drop down. All you have to do is click apply coupons and bada bing, bada boom.
Yes, then just sit back, wait, and watch the prices drop. Honey will get to work searching the internet to see if it can find any promo codes or coupons. If it does, it will apply them automatically for you. Oh, Honey, thank you. Honey works on everything from tech to beauty, even clothes and food delivery. So far, Honey has found its 17 million members, over $2 billion in savings.
Holy cow.
That's a whole lot of saved money, broads.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
If you don't already have Honey, you could be straight up missing out on free savings. It's literally free. It installs in a few seconds. And by getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid and supporting this podcast. So we'd never recommend something we don't use. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/chatty. That's joinhoney.com/chatty.
I love my two dogs, like an absurd amount, but living in a city with two pups is a whole new kind of terrifying. They are well behaved, don't get me wrong, but they're still animals, and the thought of them getting through a door that gets propped open just a little too long, running through the streets of Los Angeles, well, that's a
my
scary
gosh,
thought,
terrifying.
okay? The other day, Ashley, she got out. I was so horrified. Thank God she was wearing her Halo collar, because this is true story, broads. Couldn't find her, was fully panicking, had her Halo collar on. I was alerted where she was.
Okay.
Blessings.
Yeah. So Halo collar is so cool. There are a ton of ways to use it. They have a location and status feature, which is just what Jess is talking about. It lets you stay connected to your dog anytime you want, which would be a really big peace of mind if, God forbid, your dog ever went missing like that.
Yeah, and sometimes these little dogs like Ashley, she's tiny. She just scoots her way through things sometimes.
You can also create digital fences for your dog, and you can even train your pup using the collar and using customized voice commands.
It's
really
actually
cool.
very incredible. I mean, there really is so much you can do with Halo Collar. Definitely check out their quick 90-second video on shophalocollar.com/chatty to see all of the features and ways that you can use Halo, because 60 seconds is just not enough time to explain to you broads everything it can do. It's incredible.
Take advantage of this special limited time introductory offer today. Save 20% on Halo Collar by going to shophalocollar.com/chatty. That's shophalocollar.com/chatty. You're going to save 20%. You've got to go to the site to get this offer. It can only be gotten at shophalocollar.com/chatty.
But the ladies liked it. They were all commenting on Kenny, and it turned out like, who was Kenny flirting it up with?
Mari.
Yeah. She didn't mind.
No. Shocked. Because doesn't that seem like the type of thing that a girl would like absolutely hate?
They were also, okay, let's just jump. We're going to be jumping all over the place
Sorry,
this episode,
it is what
you guys.
it is. Well, you already got the real breakdown from the ladies, so
exactly.
This is what
so
you get
here
from
we
us.
go. This is just our take. I am always curious in like the flirty banter that people get into, and I just think it's funny that he was so hung up on him being 40 years old, and then she's 25.
Yeah.
And then they just kept bringing that up. I don't know. That was like the bulk of their conversation that we saw from producers was just like, I can't believe you're 40.
He definitely didn't seem to have like, it was a little bit like, where's the chat, man? Like, where's the flirt? Like, it was just weirdly like, oh, that's all I talked about. And then it was over. It could be a weird cut, but like.
And he's like, you've dated older guys? She's like, yeah. And he's like, oh, cool.
Yeah, he's like, how old you dated? He's like 40. He's like, all right.
Yeah. Like,
it was like,
sick.
That's the hurdle.
That's not, all right. So this isn't a big deal for me then.
Right.
Like, cool.
Yeah, it was a little dry, but I think they're both like super hot, and so it was just an issue of like we're both super hot and into each other, and we're both kind of nervous about being here, so let's just kind of link up.
And ultimately, you're just making out at this point.
Oh, that night, yeah.
Yeah, they're just making out, and they're just like vibing people out, and they're gonna see like who are you gonna saddle up with and like ride this paradise thing out for as long as it seems fun.
Yeah.
I mean, because let's say Paradise is literally about getting followers and getting traction.
Yeah.
Right? Like this is soulless. Right
yeah,
here.
right. But I don't know, but it has
Not
created relationships.
Yes, but I mean like in the way no one has to prove anything to be there for like any kind of right reason.
Sure.
Right?
Because to me, Paradise actually makes the most sense because it's the most free-formed.
Yeah.
It's one-on-one. It's 10 girls, 10 guys, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's the most even. Where you walk, it's like a dating show where you just walk in and there's the opposite amount, and then you guys talk and hang out, and it just kind of naturally takes care of itself, like a bar scene, as opposed to the Bachelor, Bachelorette. It's like 15 to 1 or 20 to 1, which is like that's so much more unnatural of a process. Where it's like I actually think that Paradise would be way more like fun of an experience because it would be less stressful, less serious. It'd just be more like, oh my god, we were talking and out of nowhere this other girl came up and we started talking, or you know what I mean, a lot more like interesting, and things are changing, and
you know,
I don't know.
I always think is weird is finding out how incestuous the Bachelor cast is.
They all like kind of know each other when they come up. They're like they've been to like parties together or been dinners or whatever.
So as Becca was telling me that like Noah was dating Maddie Pruitt's roommate or some shit for a bit, and I'm like, what? Like Noah and Maddie Pruitt hang out? I'm like, well, how did that connection happen? They're not even on related seasons, and then they're just like, I just find that stuff strange to me, of like how and then like Ivan, I forget who, but there's a bunch of people who are all hanging out outside of this. The funniest connection still, hands down, is Tahzjuan making out with Uncle.
That is incredible.
That's my favorite. That was
because it's one thing to be like,
I love that
dated
she's like
your
clowning on him for
brother.
it. Yeah,
because it's like I know you, and so then I met your brother at one of these parties because he came and we made out in the closet or something.
His mom's brother.
But to be like, because that's a connection that's like I didn't know you, Trey. That's like we met on Tinder or something, and like I just happened to be in the city that you're in and met the chances, you know what I mean?
Talking about dating older guys, if Kenny had known that, dude, he would have been
right to her.
She's comfortable dating older guys.
Uncles. I mean, 30-year-old men's uncles who are like, how old are those guys? 50?
He's got
minimum
around there, late 40s, early
late
50s.
40s.
Unless that he's like 10 years younger than his older sister or something.
But yeah, unless he's like super young, but it's like, wow.
That shit is so.
Gotta
I
love
mean,
it.
you listen to Trey talk about it, and he's like, yo, I mean, like that's my uncle, bro. Like that's my mom's brother.
He's like, that's blood.
yeah.
What I like about it though is he didn't deter him.
No.
He went in.
No.
They made out, and then she said, he kisses better than his uncle. Which is a legendary line. If I was him, I'd get that in merch. I kiss better than my uncle.
Literally.
That's a vibe. Okay.
Dude, she's immortalized in this whole process
Dude,
for me
all the
already.
spaghetti stuff and like, have you seen some of her old clips? They're the best. They're like,
No, I haven't.
she literally is fainting from the heat, like literally like falling off camera and stuff, which is so insane. And then like in the pool trying to keep cool while eating hot spaghetti.
I love it.
Hot Italian in a tropical environment. And not only that, she was in the pool eating it. So she's like neck deep in water with a bowl eating spaghetti. I mean,
It's
what an
just so
absolute wild
gross.
move.
Becca gets so mad at me if I'm in our. We have a little jacuzzi.
If you eat
I'm
in the
there,
jacuzzi.
Oh my god, dude, she gets mad. She gets mad if I like, you know, when it's all steamy in there and it loosens up your boogers at all. She'd be like, "Oh, you have a booger right here." And I'll be like, "Oh," and put my hand in the
And
water.
she's like, ah,
freaks out.
because she's like, now a booger's in there with me.
I'm like, "Yeah, with chlorine and all this." She's like, "So what, dude? The kids are peeing in here."
And she wants you to flick the booger.
Oh, totally flick it out, but I can't wipe it on the side of the jacuzzi.
Right, so you need to get out
She
and like
freaks
lawn
out
it.
about that. Yeah. She doesn't know. Let me ask you this on a tangent. When you pick your nose in the car, where do you put the booger?
I never even think about it, but I guess if I ever pick my nose in the car, do one of those. I guess if a window's open, I
What do you
try
do?
to like out window
Yeah, but
it
it
out.
doesn't work like that. You're just like, where does it go? Like, you know, like it's
No,
just,
you know,
you
it's a
just
good
do
question.
this, and you're like, oh,
I guess at some point it ends on like the side of a seat or something.
I know. That's exactly. It's the seat. I wipe down. I go like this. Dude. I go right straight to the front of the seat. I just like pick my nose and just like right on the front of the seat.
You know what's gross
I
about
know,
that?
or the side,
You know,
or I hit
what's-
the side. Even when
Yeah.
I borrow Becca's car, there's so many boogers right there on Becca's car for
I
me.
love it. You know what's great about it? Is that like when you buy a used car, just like, because you know they're not cleaning the underside of a seat. They're
No.
cleaning the front.
Yeah.
So what you don't want to do is rub your hand underneath
No.
that, because you know there's like 10 years of like the
Old
ex
booger growth
of like
under
the
there.
guy who owned the car before his boogers. Oh, that's nasty, dude. Oh. I used to have this friend. His grandpa had a jacuzzi. We went in it once.
Grandpa's jacuzzi.
We all went in it.
Sus.
We all went in it. We were all hanging out in there. We're sitting there, and all of a sudden we look, and we're like, "What is that?" And right off on the ledge is a razor. And we're like, "Wait, what?" And we call his mom. Find out he shaves in the jacuzzi. And we were sitting in that jacuzzi being like, Grandpa shaves his balls in this jacuzzi, dude. And the nut hair is just in here with us.
I'm like-
and we literally jumped out as fast as we could, and we're just like showering.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Old people jacuzzi is
Ooh.
gross, dude. They're just over it. They're just like
They're tired.
old. They're old. They've seen shit. They're just like, you know, everyone's ungrateful. No one appreciates anything that they have.
Yeah, they're like, no one gets us anymore. We're tired.
Yeah, they just frankly don't give a fuck.
I'm just
about
gonna shave right here in this
literally
thing.
propriety is out the window, especially in their house. They're like, whatever, dude. I'm too old to give a shit about any of this stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Gross. I mean, just look at like all those scandals of like STD outbreaks in nursing
Oh,
homes.
you know, because you know what's crazy?
They don't
is
get.
they're
They
still
just don't
horny.
care. Yeah.
I'm going like,
Well, dude, if your prostate's in good order,
70
dude.
years old, you're still, or 80 years old, you're
It's
like, let's
good
get
for
it
your
going.
heart.
Pop a couple blue pills and start ripping.
Hell yeah. Maybe a few different other kinds of blue pills too. There was some documentary you were watching about like the big retirement center and a retirement living community in Florida, and there was like, you know, some of them. One guy started really exploring drugs at like his
Yeah, I
like,
get it, because you're like, I might as well,
late
if I'm already in the
60s.
end, I might as well start experimenting. Like,
yeah,
there's
dude.
nothing else to live
and
for.
he was like, you know, taking like light doses of Molly and like dressing like some kind of like hippie shaman, and he was like worshiping the moon and stuff. And his you know, he was like forgetting dates and stuff, and his wife is like, I don't know. She's been married to him for like 50 years, and now all of a sudden
babe,
he's
I'm
like
seeing stars, baby.
now he's like popping pills like a college kid, and he's out trying to do all this stuff. Fuck, dude. And then it's like, you know, everybody else is just trying to sleep with someone else's partner.
Oh,
They don't care about those things anymore. They've been married to you for 45, 55 years, 60 years.
No one's trying to prove anything. No one's insecure
No.
anymore. It's just like, let it rip.
Yeah. It is weird, dude. I don't trust old people's houses, and they all smell the same.
It's the smell of the end.
No one's supposed to be that old, dude. Like, you think, like, when you look at these movies like Gladiator and you see this Roman senator, you see him and he's 85
Hobbling
years
to the
old.
throne.
Yeah, no one lived that old back then, dude. If you were
You were
45,
40, you were dead.
You were old as shit back then.
You died full health.
Yeah,
Because you got
straight
like
up,
you got
one
like some
foot
you
in the
got like
grave.
a cold and you were over it a week.
And you had like 4 teeth.
Oh, no
Because
teeth.
we had no dental plan. You brush your teeth with a stick of wood, and then you just fucking die of some dumb shit. Like you'd scratch your arm, and they'd be like, no one believed in soap, and they thought witches bathed. And then you just like, you know, like, oh, I'm gonna just rub this poop dirt in here, and then
some
your
weird
arm
guy-
falls off.
Yeah, it got gangrene. Everyone's like, "Oh man, it'd be so cool to live back in the day," you know?
No,
Like,
it would suck, dude. All these posts about being like, oh, everything was organic, everything was this. It was like, yeah, the average life expectancy was like 30.
I'll
and
take my Jack in the Box if it means I
people
can
had-
live another 40 years.
People would have 8 kids. One of them would live.
That was the whole point, though. You have a bunch of kids, so that maybe, hopefully, 1 or 2 of them could outlast you and take care of you.
Dude, I was reading when I was in school, we studied stuff like, so it was saying that like today is the only time in history people are having children by choice.
Yeah, right. Before it was
You
like, I
had-
need helpers for my field.
Literally, you had child labor.
Yeah, you were just like, I
You
need help.
raised them. They were just fucking annoying until they could carry a tool, and then they were helpful.
Yeah.
And they earned their place, and then they ran away from home at like 10 to start to stake their own, you know, position
Yeah,
in
right.
life.
Or to like carry on the line to like not let the intruders come into the village or whatever.
Yeah, they
you know,
just
it's
like join the army
I
and be
need-
like,
I
whatever.
need
I'll bring
armed
like
guards.
bring fucking water to all these soldiers.
Well, speaking
Something
of old
like
guys,
that.
David Spade. I will say this about him: had my favorite watch on.
Oh, I commented on that when we were watching, flashing
Yeah.
his gold Rolex
His
everywhere.
day date. That's my dream watch. Is the gold day date Rolex.
Dude, Kendrick Lamar has that watch.
Sick watch.
It's super flash. It's
It's a $45,000 watch.
I was about to say it's an understated watch in the Rolex
It's
lineup.
very understated. That's why I like it. It's just classic gold, and it's like cheap. It's like
It's
a $50,000 watch.
understated in context to the Rolex line.
But
that
it's
is not
luxury.
an understated watch anywhere outside of a Rolex catalog.
It's not like a Patek or something that looks
it's a-
over the top.
Solid piece of gold.
It's literally solid
that's
gold.
like
The whole thing.
massive on your hand that just screams
Made in Switzerland.
expensive.
Oh, he also, dude, David Spade is so old and rich and like has that like legendary vibe about him. Not legendary in a good way, just more like he's such like a staple at this point that like you always know someone is rich and kind of out of touch when the way they dress on vacation, because old like billionaires always dress with like really weird vacation wear, like weird hats and like weird colors. Like when he rolled up after the initial like meetings and he was talking to Wells and he had on like pink shorts, a blue shirt, some weird sandals, and a fedora.
Dude,
I was like, dude, that's the ultimate sign of like you're old and rich and you're out of touch. Because I was like, no one wears that anymore. Like that was 1992.
that is, I think, wardrobe.
Either way,
I think it's
you
wardrobe.
can still say no. You can still be like, I don't want to wear that.
No. But I think that is what David Spade wants to wear.
But that's what I'm saying. Do you think David Spade's going to be pushed around by wardrobe? He's going to be like, I want to wear what I want to wear.
If
So
it's
I
linen-
bet he picked it out.
As long as it's linen. I bet that was his only thing.
Right.
Like, it's going to be hot as shit. Better dress me in linen.
It was just the most insane outfit I've ever seen. And I was like, dude, you live in Hollywood. You hang out with movie stars. How are you not getting that
At
this
least
is like
you go
horrific look?
go monochrome.
Yeah, go all
All those
beige.
colors. Yeah, it'd be
go all
sick.
cream.
Even all pink would have been cool.
But it was
all
like
sky blue.
pink, white. And it wasn't even like do the fedora to where either the whole thing's down or the whole thing's up. But the up, down, so like you look like a gangster from the 30s. Like that was a ridiculous look by him.
It's a serious dad move. So like my dad wears
Tommy
hats.
Bahama's brutal.
My dad wears hats like that. My dad wears Stetsons.
But see, that's already
We
cooler.
always tease him about it. But the Stetsons are a lot better than the fucking fedora.
Yeah, of course.
My friend's dad wears a fedora all the time, and I'm always like, you would be. you would be a Fedora guy. I really like my friend's dad, but I'm like, you would be a Fedora
Yeah,
guy.
you would be. Okay, I want to talk about
Anyone listening, just the Fedora is not cool.
Sorry to tell you, it's gone.
The only people who can wear a fedora were born in the 50s,
Right.
or they are 8 years old and they don't know any better.
Right.
Because little kids wear fedoras and it's funny because they wear like a beat up, they wear it like every day.
Right.
So it's all like beat up and shit.
Right.
And then it's
Or
like
if
it's
you're
like
in
a pinstriped fedora and they wear it with like basketball shorts.
Or if you're in a play. If you're on Fiddler on the Roof, you can wear a fedora or whatever.
Tahzjuan
I mean?
and his fedora.
Yeah, if you're on Broadway, you can wear a fedora. I give you a pass on that.
If you're
in
pretending
a
to be-
film, you can wear a fedora.
If you're pretending to be someone born in the 1950s, you can wear a fedora. But if you're just
But if you're like living your life,
stop
gotta-
living your life
you gotta
or just
stop
get
it.
rid of that fedora.
yeah, you need to quit everything and rethink. You need
Never
to go
leave your
therapy
house again.
24/7.
You can wear it in your own house. Just don't wear it outside where anyone else can see
Don't
you.
take pictures of it.
Yeah.
There should be no knowledge that it ever existed.
But also, we're trying to be supportive. So like do your
So
thing.
wear it. You should wear it.
Do your thing. Just know that me and Evan strongly disagree with that life choice.
So who was your favorite of the girls and favorite of the guys?
So favorite of the girls personality wise is Tahzjuan for me. Simply because she said about Carl when he walked in killed me.
No, I don't like that guy.
Killed me because it's what I was saying in the live was I'm really interested to see how people dress for the beach who don't go to the beach.
Got it.
And she literally, her comment was simply about the practicality and logic behind Carl's outfit.
Why does he have a watch, a belt, and shoes?
That was enough for her to say that she is completely disinterested in even talking or meeting him.
Well, did you see that they both so he tried to kind of like big time her. So cause she goes, "What's your name?" And you could tell he was offended by that. And he just dissed her and she goes, "Do you have a name?" And he goes, "Yeah, I got one."
Yeah.
And then he was like, "I'm just kidding. Oh, Carl, you know who I am."
And then
I was
she's like, I have zero interest in talking to this person.
I was like, bro, you were on for like 2.5 weeks. It's not like you're a legend of the game. Like, get out
no,
of here.
everyone knows you for bad reasons.
Now, I will say this. I'm so happy he's there.
I'm 1,000%
And I'm
happy
devastated that I didn't see more of the first episode. I really kept him in the dark. Maybe he just wasn't getting
It's
the
coming.
energy.
The only
but it's
thing we
coming.
saw was him. The only thing we saw was everyone laughing at the fact that Carl was there. And then him talking about his tennis shoes not being waterproof and he's talking about them not being waterproof and then deliberately steps in the wave that's coming towards. So I am her biggest fan right now because she is the number one outstanding person to me where I could walk on that beach and I know me and her are going to be friends.
Got it.
I'm going to get
She's
along
no
with her.
bullshit. I do like that about her. She's very straightforward.
I'll be like, yo, you want to chop up some spaghetti and get in the pool? Be like,
Let's get weird with some
fucking
spaghetti.
Chill. What kind of mixture? You want to drink something blue and get in the pool?
I'd be like, let's do the thing, like where the
Lady and the Tramp?
Lady and the Tramp.
See, I don't even mean like, I'm sort of talking about like when we were talking about just being friends with someone.
Right.
First and foremost, I'm like, I could get along with her. The other person is everyone's fan favorite, Serena P.
So, okay. Serena P. That's wifey. She's just got wifey vibes. She's chill. She's funny. She smiles a lot in like a very just like kind way. She doesn't seem like she has a lot of bad bones about her. Like there's not this kind of like, there's no connivey, there's no bullshit. She just seems kind of pure in that way. And I think that's why guys are so attracted to her, other than the fact that she's like drop dead gorgeous. I think it's also this, that she has this kind of like, I can trust her. She's effortless with the vibe. Like she's really sweet. Like she really is, I feel like the number one pick of the villa.
Everyone else on the beach is like, it's what you were saying. They're
still like kind of playing a role.
Yeah. And I was just like, what are you? I mean,
Serena P does not play a role. She's
and that's
straight up.
nerves. That's people being nervous in that position. I really want to say that that's what's coming out. I forget this woman's name, but she was in her like, I don't know. She was talking to someone and then I can't give the example if I don't know the name, so I won't go down it. But everyone is having like these one-liners and, like little zing moments. So they're trying to have it. And those two were the women on there where I was like, you're not trying to do anything.
Right.
You're simply commenting on what you're seeing, or you're just reacting to the conversation people are giving you in like a really normal fashion of
Yeah.
like a very calm, like there's nothing going on here
Yeah.
kind of situation. And you're like, okay,
Abigail's the only one, again, I don't feel like is playing a role.
no, so she's my number 3
Yeah.
in
Okay.
terms of like, again, these are my people I'm vibing the hardest with out of the women
Yeah.
on Paradise.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I agree. I think Abigail's going to be, and I also like Mari. I actually really do like her. She does seem like just chill and cool and just kind of like,
I need the cast list up.
yeah, she just hits me as someone who's kind of mature and not down for the whole like let's play a role thing.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about Victoria? Because Victoria made me sad.
Feelings. Dude, she's a
No,
seesaw for me.
But the difference for me was this. So I look at Carl and Victoria in the same world. Carl came in with the energy. He came in hot. He's like, "What's up, everybody? Paradise is here now." Didn't you feel from the goddess that she was tired of the bit?
yeah,
Like she kind of seemed a little tired. Like before she came in and she's like, "Now the real party starts," and she was kind of ripping everybody's head off. Now it just felt a little bit like I felt sad almost. Like the producers and everybody's like, "You have to keep this up," and so. And I don't think it was forced. I really think that she was keeping it up, but she could tell she didn't have the same energy. She wasn't making a splash. She wasn't causing any problems. She might cause more problems in the future, but I just felt like it was a little bit like it just seemed a little bit tired.
I think it's like you're just gonna have to give Victoria someone we're gonna have to give time, because what I was thinking about was like in some of the earlier episodes with us, you were talking about me reacting to like early reception of being like, oh, you're trying to play it cool and like be a little more whatever, and then you're like 10 minutes into it, you let it all go and you're back to doing the exact same shit.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, because that's actually who I am. I can't fight it.
Right.
It's just like I can't go against
You are
my
what you are.
personality. Exactly. Victoria is what Victoria is, and like that energy is going to come through, I think, in the next episode early.
Yeah, because she's super toxic, right? And so I think she's trying to be chill, but at the same time, she still has that like weird, awkward ego thing with like the I'm a
Wait till
goddess.
she
And
gets-
all I need to do is look at a man for 5 seconds and then he's mine. And
Wait
then
till she gets jealous.
Yeah, and it's gonna be weird too because the guy's not ever gonna be into her. But she's gonna be into him, and then when the guy goes to another girl, she's gonna be like, "You bitch, you don't step on my man," and they're both gonna be like, "What?"
Completely.
And it's gonna get really weird.
Yeah, no, there's going to be anything that makes her feel, at least this is my guess, because this is like, I mean, why would anyone act out in these situations? It's like whatever you're going to try to do to get attention.
Yeah, and I feel like it's gonna be really like bad because she's gonna be like really into a guy, and he's not gonna like be into her vibe, her like shtick. And then it's going to go bad. She's going to like start turning on people quick.
Dude, who I think shit's going to go bad for too, where I agree with the girls, is Demi.
Yeah.
Because dude, her entrance, Jesus Christ, what are you doing?
It was a little weird because of like the previous interactions and vibe I got from her. Like she's really turned up whatever that dial is.
What literally like
that wasn't her really like before. Was it? I mean, she didn't seem to be that like over the top
seemed
about
like
the
she
shtick.
got, dude, it's literally like something of like, okay, you were authentic in a moment.
Yeah.
And you had like a few righteous moments of like deliveries.
Yeah.
That were like, you were on the right side and you put someone in their place, or like something happened and then like everyone supported you for it. And now there's sort of like this like like sort of like the monster that's been created.
Do you think it's a little bit like you don't want to fade away into irrelevance, so you turn the knob up to kind of be noticed again?
A little
bit. It's kind of like maybe it's been a while since she's been on these shows and stuff, and it's kind of like how do I light the match again?
It's the biggest question, like the simplest question goes to that is like, why are you even here? What are you doing there?
Right.
I mean, look at Joe. Let's go to dude.
Let's
Joe
talk about Joe. What are your thoughts about him?
Existential crisis is happening for him right now because he is a rational human and he's asking himself the question, why the fuck am I here again?
So I
know Joe,
right.
so I don't want to go
That's what
too
I'm saying.
far.
So you know him. I don't know him. From a perspective from afar, I don't think he's really having an existential crisis. I think that he is a little embarrassed maybe about the situation. He's a little bit like, am I really going to go through this again? But I think he's just like radically emotional. And the reason why I say that is because the second he talks to Serena P, now he's making out. And then the second after he makes out, he does the interview and he goes, I'm so happy to be here. Where he spent the last 22 hours on the beach, like crying. And then he sits down moping and then talks to Serena P and then he likes her and all of a sudden he's so happy to be here. If you truly felt that way, even if you met the girl and started talking, you'd still just be a little bit like, yeah, I still don't know. But like, if it could be changed on a dime with one good kiss, I think it's a little bit like he's feeling insecure. He's feeling like Ivan came in and wanted the same girl, a couple of the other guys. So he felt like, shoot, the one girl I want, I have to fight for her. So I'm embarrassed about that. I don't think I have what it takes. The Brendan's like the hot guy. I don't know if I can, you know what I mean? So then I think he's just insecure about the fact that like maybe the only girl that he likes is going to be fought for. But then the second he feels like he has an option with her, he's immediately like, I'm just very happy to be here. That's what I'm like, dude, you're so emotional. This thing I feel like is going to mess you up.
It is absolutely going to. And granted, when I say I know Joe, I don't really, it's not like I called him up, talked one-on-one for a while, hung out with him a handful of times when he was with Kendall and they were in LA, and we met up with them when they were in Chicago, whatever. He's very easy to talk. Anyway, well, all I'm seeing here is like he's self-conscious, he's embarrassed. I think it's like hitting on him. There's things where I think he's like emotionally not where he thought he was when he's being confronted with that stuff after like, you know, separating him and Kendall's breakup. And then I think it's like, I don't want to, you know, it's been a long time since you've dated.
Yeah, no, yeah, totally.
But I don't think there's a stronger roller coaster of emotions than the feeling of uncertainty with someone that you want to like you.
That's what I'm saying,
And then
though.
when they do like you, the like superpower feeling you have, which is what I think we're seeing. But like, I mean, granted, but it's like validating. It's like, yes,
no,
you have
I'm
that
not saying
validation.
that's wrong, but more what I'm commenting on is the fact that like, there's a difference between why am I here and like, I'm insecure about the fact that I might not be able to get the girl.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like he was experiencing, I'm insecure about the fact that I might not be able to get the girl because there's a lot of like good looking, cool guys that want the same girl. And then that's a very big difference than I don't know if I should be here. So I felt like he was unintentionally, maybe even wrapping it in like,
do you think
I don't know if I want to be here, but reality is the second he felt like he got the girl, he was all of a sudden, I love being here. So I think it was a little bit like, I think he was just insecure about like the fight. And I thought he was probably a little tired with all the new guys coming in are like energetically kind of go fight for their girl. And he was a little bit like, I've done this like so many times. Like I'm exhausted.
Do you think it could be both?
Maybe we'll see how it develops, but it's like,
well, how'd you feel in the scene when he was saying that talking to her reminded him of talking to Kendall?
That's when it really hit me. That's when I go, this guy's really emotional and really fragile. Like the fact that he is crying 2 hours before he's making out, and 2 hours before he's making out, he's crying, don't know if I should be here, I'm on the edge, and then all of a sudden he talks to her. It feels like I'm talking to Kendall again, crying. 2 more hours of walking on the beach alone. Then makes out with Serena. Now is super happy to be here.
Wandering into the ocean.
Like so mopey. Like he's a 35-year-old man and he's like walking in the ocean by himself. It was a little bit like, bro, like, what are you doing, man? Like,
it was noticeable to people too.
And they were all kind of like, dude, what's this deal? Like, so I will say this though.
He also is the contestant, I think, like out of all the guys going on there.
Yeah.
Probably the most hype built up,
right,
and interest from the women to be like, because everyone saw how he handled the conflict,
right,
on his season, which was fantastic.
Yeah,
and everything after the fact was like, anytime he was on camera or made any kind of public appearance, people are like, yeah, they like doubling down on Grocery Store Joe.
Yeah, dude,
and then they just saw him. Oh, his dad, and that was hilarious.
Bro. It's the SNL skit, the Bears.
Literally,
he was just literally like, "Hey Joe, before you go," like it was. I can't even do the accent, but it was like, "I want another grandchild." It was just like, like it was. I can only do like gangster from New Jersey, like "fuck you," but it was like, "You better have another, because you better have another kid." You know what I mean? It was like so insanely like Chicago, like the Bears.
No, it's Chicago Italian stuff.
Hilarious. Like the dad was like a caricature. I was dying.
Chicago Italian.
Yeah, because even he has the accent really intense. But the dad was like, "Bro, is this a joke?"
Joe has the Midwestern bag.
Yeah, just bag. Yeah, it was. I was dying at the dad. The dad was. I want to have the dad on. Like the dad is a legend. The guy's voice was out of
Joe's
control.
dad and Pete's mom.
Dude,
I would love to just have a talk show with
they
them.
just need to have where they just talk about stuff. They can
For
say
real.
anything. They should recite menus.
Okay, I hate this, but I have to take a pee break.
Go.
Okay, broads, one more interruption from us. Listen, noise canceling headphones are a must for me. It's the truth. Like if I'm trying to get work done or trying to sleep on a plane or taking a phone call in a less than quiet space, I have to be able to focus. And that means complete and total silence minus my own tunes or phone call or whatever. And over the years, I've built up a little collection of different brands, models, and styles of noise canceling headphones. And while they're all okay, without a doubt, by a mile, the best pair I own are from Sennheiser. My Momentum True Wireless 2s are the ones I pull out when I am on a flight or when I'm working at a coffee shop and the person next to me takes an hour-long phone call at top volume. Only Sennheiser will get the job done in those desperate situations.
Yeah, and one of the reasons that Sennheiser is so great is because they've been working on creating the perfect sound products for over 75 years, and it's safe to say they've really perfected the craft. With the new Momentum True Wireless 2s, you can tell the second you put them on that the quality's impeccable. You'll be able to adjust the sound to your personal preference with the built-in equalizer, and you'll get up to 28 hours of battery life on a single charge.
Evan's been using Sennheiser products for years because they're just like top quality. And let me tell you, the Sennheiser earbuds are everything. From my workouts in the morning to meditation before bed, they're the most effective pair I've found for shutting out the world around me and getting in a little bit of me time. You'll love them too, we promise.
Why settle for anything less than great sound? Come hear the difference with Sennheiser. Right now, for our first 100 listeners, only the first 100, so get on top of it. Go to Sennheiser.com/podcast and use promo code CHATTY. You're going to receive 15% off the Momentum True Wireless 2 earbuds or any of their amazing headphones. That's 15% off when you go to, here's the spelling, SENNHEISER.com/podcast, and you can use our promo code CHATTY. Sennheiser.
Broads, anyone that carries a purse or a bag, I know you can relate to this scenario. The other day, I ran to CVS because I was out of eyelashes and eyelash glue, and I needed, obviously, to take care of that stat. And then, of course, I started to grab all sorts of other things because it's CVS, and I always fill up my cart. I get to the front counter, and guess what your girl forgot? Her purse. So I don't have anything with me. I don't have any of my cards, but I did have my phone.
I have been there before without my purse or wallet. And like sometimes you have literally a full cart and you're like, okay.
Full panic. You're like, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to go back to my car and try to see if it's there? And what am I supposed to do with this? Or like when you have your kid with
I've
you?
literally had that happen where I've had to like ask them to like hold my shopping cart and it becomes this whole ridiculous thing.
It's full panic. It's full panic.
Listen, guys, we've got an answer here.
We do have an answer.
Okay, now CVS accepts super easy touch-free payments with PayPal and Venmo, making checkout a breeze no matter how many necessary or unnecessary things you have filling up your hands. And for just giving it a try, you're going to get $10 cash back on your first in-store contactless payment of $20 or more. I'm so happy because I'm obsessed with PayPal.
Yes.
I use it for everything. I use it for checking out at every single online store that offers it. I'm obsessed. I send money to everyone using PayPal. It's my favorite.
Oh, I use PayPal or Venmo literally every single day. I think every day. And this is the true life story, is that when I wound up at CVS before we even had this ad, they then told me about the PayPal Venmo thing. And so I was like,
yes!
I have my phone on me. I'm like, I forgot my purse, but I have my
Yes.
phone. I was able to pay, no embarrassment. I got what I needed. It's incredible. Most everyone already uses Venmo or PayPal for so many other transactions. This really is no different. You get the same level of data security that you do when you use these apps elsewhere. Just a few quick taps of your phone at checkout and you're done. It's really that easy.
To get $10 cash back on your first transaction of $20 or more, just head to your local CVS and pay using your PayPal or Venmo app, and you'll get $10 cash back on your first purchase of $20 or more with the PayPal or Venmo app. To see terms and learn more about how to earn $10 cash back, you can go to paypal.com/chatty. Love you, PayPal.
Back from my pee break. Which everyone, in case you're wondering, I'm doing a thing called creatine.
Ever heard of it?
Ever heard of it? It's what fucking gets you fucking jacked. But no, I'm gaining weight. I'm gaining weight for the first time in my whole life. But apparently you have to drink an obscene amount of water. So I'm going to the bathroom all the time. All the time. And these Miller Lights go right through you.
Are you getting
they clear you
gains?
out? Huh?
Sorry.
Well, yeah.
We're eating Takis.
Takis, baby. Plug.
Are you
If you guys have never heard of them, a new company.
brand new?
Yeah.
Speaking of Takis, and would you say this is a Mexican treat kind of thing? Right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you know what Lucas is?
Yeah. Love Lucas candy.
Okay. So I grew up
Made
eating
by,
Lucas.
distributed by the same company, Bimbo.
Bimbo, yeah. So I grew up eating Lucas, which is like this candy.
Uh-huh.
Like
Well,
you could only get
the
it.
goop?
Yeah, it's like goop. It's like chili paste.
Yeah.
And you could only get it from like ice cream men in the
I was
90s.
about to say just the ice cream guys.
And I was like, dude, you know what would be awesome? I was like, I want Ember to experience that.
How cool this duck and sunglasses candy.
Right. So I was like, oh, you know what? I wanted to have a little taste of my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
So I Amazon. All right, I'm going to look on there, see what they got. Can't find Lucas anywhere. I'm like, it's weird. I Google Lucas. Discontinued in like 1999 due to like high levels of lead.
You can still find it.
I'm sure you can, but I was like, it's so 90s to be like, oh yeah, this candy we used to eat, oh yeah, it's gone now because it was just full of lead.
Dude, we would crush. So like the trick was noobs would sit and squeeze it and it would come out of the holes like a chia pet.
Right.
And then you'd lick that off. Once you figured out that you could just pull the bottom out
And just narf it.
and just scoop the whole thing out in one go.
See, but that's not my style. I like
Or you
savoring.
just crush them.
I like savoring.
See, so okay, well let me ask you this: how did you eat your fruit roll-ups? Not the fruit by the foot, the fruit roll-up.
Were you-
yeah, the one that's just not the by the foot, the rectangular one.
Oh, the rectangular one.
Fruit roll-up. Fruit by the foot is the one that comes out.
It's on the
3
paper.
feet of This one is just like
I'll look this up.
it's you literally the regular fruit roll-up like electric lemon and fruit punch, and it looks like rubber paper.
Oh, yes, those were good. I preferred fruit by the foot. Something
lot of
about
people
that.
did.
Something about that process. But the fruit roll up. Let me guess how you did it. You just crunched it into a ball and popped it.
So that was one way, and then you suck on it forever.
That's not my style.
Or you fold it. I would fold it in on itself a bunch of times and have like a square, and I'd wear it like a retainer
Oh yeah, I remember
up on
that.
the roof of my mouth and just like lick it slowly.
So I have two speeds. Either I like literally just take little bits at a time and savor it, or I just like mat it up and just heart, and it's just a big old candy.
I mean, dude,
If I have two of them, one big candy, second one nibble. So it's like two different experiences.
if I have a box, it's gone. 15 minutes.
Dude, they're so good.
They're crack.
They
They
so
hit me.
good.
Dude, there's something about that little kid in me. The fruit by the foot, wrap it around the finger.
Yep, and just
Wrap it
kill
around the finger and just do your thing. Let's turn your finger into a little roll. I bit my finger so many times.
Just going
gnawing
too
it
hard.
right off. Yeah. Just bite my finger off.
Okay, well, I did want to talk about Noah and Abigail. That date. Because it was kind of weird. I want to get your thoughts on it.
I thought Noah performed well given the circumstances.
What were the circumstances?
It was a shitty date.
So you mean like a weird pinata date?
Yeah.
But I'm saying ditch the pinata. I mean just their conversation.
Okay. Conversationally, I loved that he led in with their like, oh, what are your expectations for like da-da-da-da-da? They were talking about it of like, look, like I don't actually want to get engaged. I love that he cleared that up because I had like respect for him to be like, well, I'm just ultimately trying to leave someone that I'm serious about.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily mean like, oh, I'm gonna try to put a ring on this.
Right.
I think that shit's weird when people say that stuff. Like the goal is to leave here with a ring on my finger is like, what?
This is summer camp. What are you talking about?
It should just be like, oh, like maybe find someone I actually have a connection with for starters. So I love that that's where his head was at. And then I really loved that it was a really sweet moment when he just explicitly was like, by the way, you're the person I was most excited to get to meet, which is why I pursued you right off the bat.
Yeah.
I loved that. And then the conversation wise, I thought he was, Noah's not, I was picking up what Noah was putting down. I loved that she said to him that she friend zones guys.
Yeah.
And it wasn't necessarily because she wants to. It's because she's not someone she seemed like admitting that she's really shy and she doesn't know how to take things to that next point, and she's going to be really looking for someone to do that. And then he found his opening. It was immediately like, okay, so the note is like, don't be in the friend zone. Like, I've got to close this deal right now. I've got to prove I'm not looking to be someone's friend right here. I'm looking to be a lot more than a friend. And so I liked how he had to, there's a lot of things he had to navigate through there. There was a lot of twists and turns in that path to kissing Abigail.
Right.
I thought he did well.
All right.
Plus, I want Abigail to be happy.
Yeah.
And it looked like Noah made her happy, and that warmed my cold, dead heart. And that made me, so ultimately, what are your thoughts though? Because you're looking at me and you're listening to me and you seem to have a lot of doubts and you seem to not be on the same page.
I'm not on the same page. He felt very white knighty to me. Like, it was very like, you notice a lot of times when I pull out the chair for you, and she's like, yeah, like, I appreciate that. He's like, you deserve that. And I was just like, bro, you just matter. Like, can we chill out on all the, like, this is date 4. Like, it was all very like, a lot of comments he was making were just very like, and you deserve that. And like, you need someone who treats you like that. It was very like, I'm going to save you. And that grossed me out a little bit. I was like, I liked Noah in the past. This was the first time that I was like, this is kind of a weird vibe. Like, you should be fun. This is the first conversation you're having with someone. Like, literally. In a one-on-one situation. You should be having fun, laughing, being flirty, being like funny. It should be lighthearted and fun so that the next one can be serious. But it was literally like, you deserve that, and like, do this and this, and like, why do you put guys in the friend zone? And like you shouldn't even be, in my opinion, you shouldn't even be talking about all that. It felt very like, I'm different than other guys. And I hate when guys do that. Whenever guys do this whole like, I'm going to treat you different than every other bad guy that ever treated you, it's like, you don't say that, you just do it. So for me, his vibe of like, I'm going to stare intensely into your eyes and tell you that you deserve better, to me was just a little like, it's just a little like,
to me, it's his
basic.
age.
It's just a little basic to me.
It's his age. He's young. He's in his early to mid 20s.
Even more of a reason why it should be fun and playful.
And he
even
thinks
more
that,
reason why it
he's
should
trying
be
to
like
be super mature. But look at him. He's coming off from his season. He came in and he played the playful guy. He hopped the fence and took opportunity when it opened itself up, and everyone freaking chastised him for it.
But I don't mean be crazy and young. I'm not even saying that. I'm
Wasn't
more
he
just
not crazy?
But I just mean more like be interesting, get to know the person, like start like, you don't like when you go on a date, like if you were to take someone on a date.
So you think it was phony?
No, I just felt like it was a little try-hardy. Like it was a little like, you're trying to be this like white knight instead of just being like, here's my personality. Let's learn about each other and see if we like each other.
Let your actions speak for themselves.
Yeah, but just
Don't
like,
harp
but
on
also
them.
just like get to know each other. But it was a little like already you were just like, and by the way, you deserve more. It was
Well,
like,
what do you
guys
think
just
about-
met 5 minutes ago and now you're saying what she deserves. Like it just felt a little bit like you're putting the moves on to lock this up quick, as opposed to like, yo, do we even like each other yet?
I have talkie dust on my knuckles.
But you know what I'm saying? Like that's how I
do
felt.
know what you're
it felt
saying.
a little forced.
So here's something else that stands out to me is I'm becoming self-aware of this is, do you think Noah is infatuated with the idea of Abigail?
Yes.
That he's built up?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
He's built up an idea of who Abigail actually is in his mind.
Yes.
And
like he's watched her on the shows and he's like, I get her. I'm going to be the thing she's never had before, all this stuff. As opposed to like, you guys haven't met before. Get to know each other.
yeah.
All you're going off is her cuts. I think she's awesome. And everything I've seen about
I
her.
think she's absolutely awesome.
No, I think it should be like this in The Bachelor, in The Paradise. I think you're super hot. And from what I've seen on the show, you seem like someone I'd really like.
Yeah.
But that's all you can do. But he came in like, we've been together for 6 months. I want to talk about next steps. That's what it felt like a little bit. And so it was like, everyone else is like making out, laughing. Joe's talking to Serena about like how insecure he is about the process. Kenny's talking about age. Like everyone's on this lighthearted fun thing. And he's like, you deserve to be treated with respect. You know what I mean? It just felt
Here's
a little
the
bit
other
like,
thing
what are you talking about?
Noah's entering the room up here. You have to now maintain that. That's your base level.
Right.
That's not strategy as far as like I'm concerned in date world. Because that's where I'm saying it's young. You don't enter in at level 10 because then you have no room to grow.
That's what I'm saying. Like, where else is he going to go?
Where are you going to, all of a sudden when you show your true piece of shit colors, this is big, it's a major step down as opposed to when you enter in and you're
fun
nothing
and
but a piece
lighthearted,
of shit,
or okay,
then when you show, like, I don't know, for instance, look at the amount of effort Joe put into his entire situation. The minute the man shows a little bit of manners or like a little bit of wherewithal to the other person, it's going to look
making
like,
out.
yeah, he's going to look like a really good guy. This
But that's
dude's-
also his charm. His charm is the classic nice guy. I don't know. I'm not good with girls, but I am thing, which we all know is a thing. We've seen it in the last thing with the man that shall not be named. There's a lot of, I'm not saying they're similar. I'm saying it's the same style of like charm, which is like the, I don't know who, me, but it's like, no, we know what you're doing. Like we know that works.
Yeah.
Whereas
totally
Noah
works.
doesn't have that. He hits me as like, my game is to be super serious, super fast. And I guess for me, sometimes that can rub me the wrong way.
Well, because what happens when he's off his game?
Yeah, what happens, and that's another thing
You're
too.
living up to a standard of perfection that you can't like.
And you just met this girl. You might not even like her over time.
Exactly.
So
And
after
then-
a week, you might start liking Serena or someone else, and then all of a sudden, Abigail's like, "What? You told me that I deserve more," and I'm like, "What?" You
So
know,
the
so that's kind of what I
importance-
see coming.
the important step is what happens when he loses interest, when Abigail doesn't prove to be the person he has imagined her to be.
And she also said, like, I move slow.
Yeah.
So he's moving super fast. And what if she just puts the brakes on a little bit? He'll start to distance himself.
And her page was, that's when she led into like, no, like I inadvertently just friend zone a lot of guys that I'm actually interested in because she moves slow. She wants to get to know guys before she opens up to them.
Right.
And lets them in her in that way. But this show is not built for that. So he really needed to spearhead through all of that, which is what I was like, it's good that you picked up on that or whatever.
I just felt like he could have been like, I'll be honest with you, like I totally understand where you're coming from and I understand, but I want to let you know, I think you're awesome. And from the few minutes that I've met you, like I think you're really great, and I really want to get to know you.
Look,
as
this
opposed to like you deserve all those weird white knight moments.
We have a high level of interest inside of this relationship.
That's my thought.
Wagers. Should we place wagers on what happens?
Noah will 1,000% get disinterested at some point. Ooh. She won't move as fast as he's going. He's going to want to be like, I want to make out. I want to be like hooking up. I want to be like telling each other that we're super into each other. And I think like after a week, he's going to be like, some other girl's going to come in, or he's going to start talking to somebody else who's much more, quicker on the trigger, and then she's going to get left behind.
All right, your bet is Noah's going to be the reason. My bet is Abigail's going to find another dude. You didn't even think about that.
No.
Everyone was so interested in this person. There was like so much hype, and I bet you there's so many guys coming on who are like, I'm gunning for Abigail. They're like, that's literally the girl. That's who like I'm really interested. I'm really curious about. I'm coming. I bet you in the next episode, there's going to be just some stud muffin walking in on there.
I'm not saying there won't be. I'm not saying there won't be. I'm talking about Noah.
They're building up their relationship.
Sure, but I'm just talking about
but
Noah.
Your bet is that
Noah
Noah
will be
is going to
disinterested,
walk away
yes.
from Abigail. My bet is that Abigail walks from Noah.
Oh, okay, that's a good bet. Speaking of bet, we totally forgot.
We totally forgot.
Okay. Can we promise to do it next week?
Yeah, promise. Because we sort of promised.
We promised like 4 times.
We
promise
make it
next week will be the week we make good on our bet. We totally forgot. We had life and the live show and everything. We totally forgot. We promise on the talkies and on the Miller
Which
Lights.
we apologize for the moments where we're crunching those. But
Yeah.
once you start, they're so addictive.
It's so hard, and that's
They're
so
so hard.
We will bring the bet culmination next week. We promise.
I love.
We need, and that's on us. We need to write down a note to remind us. Because we forgot again. I can't believe we forgot again. People are gonna be pissed.
I can't believe I forgot to dress up like the goblin again.
Well, we don't know. We don't know what the culmination is.
It's still my orc fatigue.
We haven't told anyone what the culmination of the bet is. We haven't told them who wins.
Hell yeah!
me
It's a
see. Let me
surprise.
see if
You
there's
guys,
anything else.
let's just say, tune in, watch the YouTube for that one.
Is there anything we missed?
I wanted to talk about Mafioso showing back up, and first thing he does is take his shirt off.
Dude, he's so jacked.
Unbelievably
too
jacked.
far.
Way too far.
He's jacked.
You know what's
The
funny?
veins are like pulsating.
So what was funny to me was Tammy making fun of all the guys,
yeah.
being like, she's like, what do you think they're talking? They're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
what do you think they're talking about? She's like, well, they're definitely talking about like, oh, how much did you like? What did you work out today? Did you do legs, bros?
like
I'm about to run,
That was awesome.
I'm about to run a 10K in these tennis
Tammy was
shoes right
funny,
here.
dude. I really
She
liked
was
her.
real
She was
funny on
really
that.
funny. She was like a total hang to me.
The shit that cracks me up though is funny is Joe at that point had his shirt off
Yeah.
And I know he looked over and was like, damn, those guys are all like, it makes you question, like, why do I have my shirt off?
Yeah, because those guys are so big.
But it's a guy thing to be like, when you're a guy hanging out and your shirt's off and you're not just like an obscenely defined person.
You're just in your head.
The moment you're just like, whoa, like, and it takes a little bit of like,
Nah, fuck it.
it takes a little bit of confidence to just understand, like, most girls are like optically like, oh, that's very pleasing that man looks that way. Most women literally don't give a fuck.
Like, it's not the game changer.
No, if you're jacked, because most women I talk to are like, if you're too jacked, it's actually a deterrent.
Right.
Because of everything we just said that goes along with it.
It's the lifestyle. It's too much.
High maintenance.
High maintenance.
To date a guy who looks like that
100%.
because their life.
Because you're like, oh, can we go to dinner? No, sorry, I got to go to the gym.
Literally, like but now that we're getting into it, like there's dudes coming in, those guys lift for 3.5, 4 hours.
Hours.
Yeah. It's crazy. So it's like you're doing 2 hours in the morning.
Right.
Your whole meal is set up around that way. You're literally like, your whole life is set up around achieving those goals.
Let's do 1 minute on favorite guys.
Go.
I think Brendan.
Like this.
Yeah, I think Brendan will kill.
Absolutely.
So he's so good looking. He's by far the best looking guy. And he's just got a swagger about him that it's like he's going slow. He doesn't have that initial thing.
All the guys like him.
But all the guys like him. All the girls think he's the best looking guy. Like, I think he's going to lock into something. I really like, I think, you know, it's funny. I hated Kenny because of the Jess thing, but I actually like him. I'm actually like, the guy's
Isn't
cool.
that the worst?
Yeah, it's the worst. It's the worst. So I actually like him. Like, I was like, he's actually really cool and he's chill. And if it wasn't for like the naked thing, he'd be like by far one of my favorites.
Also, Kenny,
it's just the naked thing's
Kenny,
weird.
if you're listening, you literally have to forgive us what we say. You do have shitty tattoos.
It's okay.
It's okay.
We've forgiven you. We
both have shitty tattoos.
You got shitty tattoos. I don't like the fact that you're 40 and you still wear diamond studs. Weird to me, but I'm willing to forgive because you seem like a chill bro.
He does seem like a chill bro.
So I'm down. I will say this, Kenny. Those things are working against you. The tattoos, the like perfectly chiseled body, like clearly just too much effort, and the diamond studs are working against your personality, because I think your personality is actually pretty good. Mm-hmm. Like, you seem like a nice guy. So if you got rid of some of this like over the topness, I think you'd be round out to just be like a really great guy. I think that some of the over topness is a little like Vegas-y. It's a little like, I'm buying bottle service for the ladies.
So Vegas.
Like, doesn't he was a guy that would roll up in a suit and then like to a group of women and be like, ladies, I got a bottle service over at the Mirage. You want to come? It's just a little like, that's his energy, but that's his look. But his personality isn't like that.
I want to see him in that element.
I want to see him too. I want to see him. He looks like a guy who like, you know what he is? He looks like the guy, him and James. These are the two guys. They look like guys that, like, when you go to Vegas, one of your friends goes, dude, my old friend now works as a promoter for these clubs. Let me call him up. And then you go, dude, what's up, Kenny? Like, we're in town. And he goes, boys, great to hear your voice. Come on over. I'll take care of you, boys. And then you show up. And he gives you the, hey, come on over. And this is my friend. Great. You guys got the table for you. Absolutely no problem. Everything's on me.
Velvet rope.
He takes care. He pays everyone out. You guys have a beautiful night. I'll talk to you in a bit. Mm-hmm. He's that guy.
Totally.
He's that guy. So I just feel like, you know, so what did I say? I said.
And then James is the friend that one of your friends is like, he's hot.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think Brennan, I think Kenny will do well. And I honestly think Grocery Store Joe is having an existential thing. But I will say, I think he will fall in love.
So I think okay. I don't disagree with anything you're saying. I think though there's heavy hitters and then there's the late bloomer.
Yeah.
So I think Brendan, I don't think is going to get in any trouble.
Yeah.
I think Brendan's just I think he's got choices.
Yeah, I think he's just kind of got, like, he knows what he can do whatever he wants.
Look how well he pivoted with Serena P.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'll let Joe do his thing.
Yeah,
I'm not
like,
intimidated by it. He's like, there's these other women there. They're super attractive. They're totally different style, totally different like flavor
He's
on
used
life.
to being able to flex around
He's
and
like,
be like,
oh,
okay.
cool. I'm going to go and explore this for a little bit. Because if you know anything about Bachelor, in Paradise, none of it's like set in stone.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to be bouncing around a little bit. He's like, my time will come. I'll explore that when the time is right. Whatever. He's not phased. And then you have guys like Ivan who are far more subtle
Yeah.
in terms of everything. You got some guys on there are going to make douchebags out of themselves because they're not used to being like, every single one of those guys, other than Carl, I think there are a lot of women who are like very curious about them. And they're really like,
I forgot about
I think
Ivan.
they're going to be really surprised when a woman comes on the show, super like, you're who I came here to meet. And they're going to be like, what?
Yeah.
And when someone talks to you like that, dude, it is like it's this like infectious, overwhelming feeling to be seen in that way.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of guys who are gonna fuck up whatever they have going on early on because of that. And Ivan is someone who's gonna keep his head through the process.
He's going to sneak in the back door quick.
Absolutely. I don't
Once
see
something
Ivan.
blows out, they're going to wait. I think Ivan's actually better.
I
and
don't
then
see them
boom.
bouncing around. I think Ivan's one of the guys who's like, Ivan's up there for me. So I see Brendan and Ivan up there as my tops right now. And then I'm torn between guys like, I mean, Joe and Trey are in like a similar category to me where they're like nice guys,
Just
but at
nice
the same
guys.
time, like, and you know, this is no shade on Joe. Like, I think that I do see an opportunistic side of them.
Yeah.
Where
You know
I'm
what?
like-
You know what? I need to correct mine.
Okay.
Joe's out.
Okay.
Trey's in. Because I think Trey's more genuine. And not in Joe's bad or anything. I think Joe's just super emotional. I think he's going to go with the waves a little bit. I think Trey is a little bit more solid in that, like, I think Trey will actually lock on to someone he likes, and he'll be committed to them. I don't see him like jumping shit because he feels emotional about it.
Joe is
I
also
think Trey's
in
my guy.
Joe's also in a really unstable,
He just seems
vulnerable,
super
emotional
unstable.
point in his life right now.
Trey seems a lot more stable. I mean,
Yeah.
he's hooking up with a girl who hooked up with his uncle. Like that
And
is stable as shit.
He registered that and he was like,
And he
fuck
goes,
it, dude.
I'm not letting it bother me at all.
Not at all.
So Trey's my guy.
Oh,
That's solid as
could
shit.
you imagine if he goes home with her after this and they just
And they go to a family dinner.
Oh my God, dude. It's going to be popping Thanksgiving dinner. Oh, it'd be sick. Spaghetti's on the table, baby.
I'm excited about the season.
I am too.
I think it's gonna be fun.
So those are so my tops are Brennan, Ivan, and then, none of the other guys when I'm looking at the casting, or if I,
There's gonna be more too. There's gonna be more guys dropping in.
But
so
out of them right now that are standing out to me,
you can just have two.
well, because Joe and Trey are really tied up there. But I think there's the breakthrough that we went through. I'm really gonna put Trey, as a higher up there for me.
Solid.
Yeah,
I dig it. I think it's gonna be fun. I can't wait. I think it's gonna pop off. I think it's one of those, like, if people are already hooking up, like they said most makeouts of any Paradise season ever. That's
They're
a well
ready,
said.
dude.
I'm like, that means they're ready to go. They've been in COVID world too.
That's what I was about
so
to
they have
say.
not been out partying, dating. They've been stuck in their house. So
that
they're
is
ready to
something-
rock.
That
baby.
is something we have not been out partying. Those of us in California, in the big city parts of California,
That's true. A
we
lot of
have
those
not
people
been
have.
out doing anything. Almost everyone else in this entire country has been out fucking
But
partying.
comparatively,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Comparatively, they would have been in New York and LA
Mm-hmm.
doing stuff, and they haven't been. So I think they're ready to rock. I'm excited. I think it's gonna be fun.
I am. And also, broads, let us know about your thoughts about Evan and I doing every week episodes. Because we've been talking about it. We're thinking about it.
But we're a little bit like Brendan. We gotta catch a vibe.
Look, we don't want to give you anything you're not ready for, and we don't want to give you anything. We certainly don't want to push something on you don't want.
So listen, if you're not serious, then if we don't want to be friend zoned.
No, not at all.
So just let us know.
We don't want to just be like default.
Yeah.
In your playlist, like, oh, we just pop up.
Yeah.
We want you to look. I
We want this to
personally
be serious.
we'll stay every other week as long as you're looking forward to it. But if you're looking forward to it enough that you want us there every week, you want to have dinner with us every week. Because I imagine there's some people who play this while they have their meals.
Yep.
If you want to clean your house with us, if you want us as part of your commute, You just let us know. We'll be there for you.
If you need more, we're there.
Yeah.
Love you guys. We will see you in a couple weeks. And thanks again for the live show. It was an absolute blast.
It's so much fun.
Chat soon?
Yes.
Okay.